Imagine waking up when your body is naturally ready. No piercing sound of an alarm clock, no rush, and no place you are forced to be. For 99% of human history, this wasn't a luxury, it was just every single morning. For nearly 300,000 years, modern humans roamed the earth without knowing what a job, or a schedule, meant. Our ancestors lived entirely in the present moment, deeply connected to the natural rhythms of the planet. They hunted when they were hungry, gathered fruits when they found them, and rested when they were tired. Anthropologists discovered that early humans only spent about 15 to 20 hours a week on survival activities. The rest of their time belonged entirely to them. They spent their long afternoons sitting under the shade of massive trees, talking, sharing laughter, and playing with their children. They didn't feel the constant pressure to achieve greatness or prove their worth to society. They woke up every morning already free, already enough, and completely at peace with the world around them. Existing was enough. But then, about 10,000 years ago, everything shifted. Humans discovered agriculture. We learned how to plant seeds, domesticate wild animals, and grow our own food. At first, it seemed like the ultimate human achievement. We thought we had finally conquered nature. But agriculture turned out to be a brilliant trap. Once we started farming, populations exploded rapidly. More mouths meant we needed more crops, and more crops demanded endless hours of backbreaking labor. Within a few generations, there was no going back to the old ways of freedom. Skeletons of early farmers show a tragic story. They worked significantly harder, suffered from severe nutritional deficiencies, and died much younger than the hunter-gatherers before them. To manage these massive farming communities, humans built the very first cities. With cities came structure, rules, and social classes. For the first time in history, humans could no longer just wander the earth freely. We became heavily dependent on a single piece of land, locked into a never-ending cycle of daily toil and survival. As societies grew larger and more complex, a massive new problem emerged: coordination. Thousands of people needed to work, trade, and meet at the exact same time. To solve this, humans invented a tool that would alter our psychology forever: the clock. It started with simple sundials tracking the movement of shadows, then water clocks, and eventually, the mechanical ticking clock during the Industrial Revolution. Before clocks, time was viewed as natural, fluid, and circular. It was measured by the seasons, the stars, and the setting sun. But after the invention of the clock, time was artificially divided into rigid hours, minutes, and seconds. Time was no longer a natural flow, it became a strict currency. The famous phrase, "Time is money," was born. Factories sprang up everywhere, and human beings were forced to align their biological lives with the cold, unyielding gears of heavy machinery. We completely stopped listening to our body's natural needs and started obeying a tiny mechanical device ticking loudly on our walls. Fast forward to the modern world, and the trap is now completely invisible because we are born inside it. Today, the average modern human spends roughly 90,000 hours of their life working at a job. We wake up to aggressive alarms, rush through heavy traffic, and sit under artificial lights staring blankly at glowing screens. We have become utterly obsessed with the concept of productivity. If we spend an afternoon doing absolutely nothing, we are immediately consumed by intense guilt. We feel like we are falling behind in a race that has no finish line. The tragic irony is that we are the only species on Earth that has to pay money just to exist on the planet we were born on. We measure our entire self-worth, success, and happiness by numbers on a screen, bank accounts, stock markets, and performance metrics. We have traded our fundamental human freedom for modern convenience, and our endless leisure time for economic productivity, constantly chasing an illusion of future security. The clock was originally invented to be a useful tool to guide us. Instead, we allowed it to become our ultimate master. We spend our youth destroying our mental and physical health, working exhausting hours just to buy back our freedom when we retire old and tired. We make art only if we can find a tiny bit of spare time after our jobs. Our ancestors made beautiful art simply because they had time, and because that is what makes us human. We are not a different species from them, but we live so drastically differently that we might as well be. Perhaps it is finally time to slow down our frantic pace. It is time to look up from the glowing screens, step away from the endless hustle, and remember how to just exist without needing to justify our productivity. You were born to experience this beautiful life, not just to log hours for someone else. Break the cage.